Welcome, everybody, to the Bush and Me Show. Week 7 already, big dog. Can you believe it? I got this sweatshirt on. It's already the middle of October. It's getting cold up here in Maryland.
Well, that's the kind of things you got to deal with when you're up north. But it was a little chilly here today in South Florida. It was a crisp 67 this morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, it didn't get above low 70s, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I can.
Well, just to toot my own horn here a little bit. It is cold up here, but we're staying hot, baby. We're staying hot.
You love to toot your own horn. If anybody's going to toot your horn,
we're staying hot, baby.
Toot it then.
Was it 3-0 last week on the podcast? 6-0 on the locks this year I am. 15-3 overall on picks on here. If you guys aren't watching the podcast, we're giving you free money, baby. You got to take it.
What up?
Over at Me's Money Moves, we're hitting 76% of our plays, and we've had over 50 plays we've released. I send that stat out to try to get new clients, and people don't even believe me. Like, you're full of shit. This is fake.
So what's the average? What's the average when you're talking the percentages that you're talking about over at Me's Money Moves? What's the average hit?
So we've hit 76% of our plays, 39-12. So we're over 50 plays released, hitting 76. So on average, a good handicapper, is that what you're asking, has to hit over 60% to retain clients. I think you have to hit about 56% to offset the juice. Good handicappers average between 62, 66, a great handicapper. We were hitting 85 for a while there. Now we're 76%, 39-12. We're up over 54 units on the year. So if you bet $100 a game, you're up $5,400. If you bet, we are killing it over there. My guys are loving life right now. I love my guys. We're having a great time over there. Me's Money Moves. We're moving some money, baby.
People should be knocking down your door to get signed up to what you're doing. Is that what you're saying?
Instead, we're getting trolls online.
That's okay.
Telling us it's fake news.
That means you're doing something right.
Right. Haters gonna hate. We'll be all right.
It's all good.
So week 7, it's always good to sit back and celebrate what you've done, but then you got to get back to square one, and that's what we're doing right now. Week 7. Heading into week 7, we'll go over some trends first before we get into the picks. Underdogs of 3 points or more are 38-19 against the spread this year. That's the best start for an underdog with the spread of 3 or more since 2002. Unders, low scoring games this year. Unders are 57-37. That's the best start for unders since 1994. That's a long ass time.
I was in 4th grade.
There's a lot more low-scoring games. There's a lot better defensive game planning, I guess. There's a lot more parity in the NFL in general. Unders, everyone knows this by now. Unders in primetime games are 13-7 this year. The primetime games have not been offensive powerhouses, especially Thursday night. Thursday night, the unders are 5-1.
They've been snooze fest for about the last 3-4 weeks.
And they are unders, like double unders, triple unders sometimes. They try to break 20 points, and the fans will be happy. And then I have to bring this up again. I know it's going to upset you a little bit, but the only undefeated team against the spread is the Atlanta Falcons, 6-0. It's the 3rd time in the last 10 years that a team has started 6-0 against the spread. Previous 2 times, in the last decade, I'm sorry. The previous 2 times were the Dallas Cowboys in 2021 and the Kansas City Chiefs in 2018. Both of those teams started 6-0, went on to go 7-0. So they won this week, in case anybody was thinking of taking Atlanta again to follow that trend. See if somebody took Atlanta, we'll hop into our picks. You want to go first, big dog?
Yeah, listen, let me start it off, man. And you've motivated me, obviously, the last couple of weeks. I've kind of come in with my slogan, or I guess you could say my theme for my picks. And my theme this week, it's the offensive lineman in me, big dog. And I feel like the game is always won in the trenches. Whether the big guys up front on either side of the ball do good or do bad for the outing. But my theme this week is ground and pound. This is not UFC we're talking about. We're talking about the bigs up front. And I know you kind of just said it. Some of these games there's been a lot more low scoring games. You don't see the ball in the air as much. Teams are getting back to the run game, or some teams are just not able to finish. In my first matchup, dude, I'm going to Colts at the Titans. They've already played once this year. The Titans got the best of them in that one. But this game coming up this week, this Sunday, is for first place in the AFC South. Here's the thing. The Colts, defensively, rushing, have given up almost 500 yards in the last 3 weeks. If I was the Titans, I would aim for 100 rushing yards this week. The message that the coach should be preaching in Tennessee is when we get over 100 yards, the Tennessee Titans, we win the ball game. In the 100-yard games that they had this year, turnover differential, they're +4. They're -3 when they get under 100 yards. If I'm Vrabel, I'm preaching that for my big guys up front. Titans have got to buy in to grounding and pounding, getting getting Derrick Henry and getting those bigs up front to make sure that they are staying ahead of the sticks. And they did come off a bye week, so I don't want to see any bye week blues out of them. I got the Colts. I have the Titans at home defeating the Colts. They're going to get it done on the ground. Even though they are favored, I do believe that they'll have a good outing this week.
Taking the Titans, laying the 3. Titans are at home. They did play earlier this year. Titans won that one on the road, 24-17. Henry did have over 100 yards rushing, so follow the same game plan. You can get the same result, right?
I would. Especially with what the Colts are doing defensively on the ground. They cannot stop the run. The last 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure they're preaching that message, and they're trying to find a way to rectify that. They've given up almost 500 yards in 3 weeks. That's the way the Titans are going to win this game.
Shit, you could run against them.
All I need is I'll fall forward for 3, big dog.
So you got the Titans. My first pick, I'm going to a place where you and I have had a lot of fun in the past. Las Vegas, baby.
Wow. I haven't.
But I'm not taking them.
I haven't been back since, and we will not talk about your Las Vegas story.
So I'm not taking the Raiders in this game, staying away from Vegas as I should. I'm going with the Houston Texans here, getting the 7 points. First of all, it jumped out on my board because it's a system play. It fits 4 of my 5 targets to fall into my system. But then I dug in a little deeper. Both teams are coming off a bye week. More time to prepare for each other. But Derek Carr has lost his last 5 games coming off of a bye week. The Raiders have lost 77% of the games off a bye week in the last 20 years. Now, I know that trend doesn't really hold true in a lot of places just because you got a new coaching staff there. You got new personnel there. They have more talent there than they have in the past years. But I just think this is a good matchup here. Davis Mills is going to come out. Extra time to prepare against this defense. The Raiders had that tough loss against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, so they had another week to sit on that. I don't know that they got right into video and everything to look up Houston. Houston doesn't really jump out to them. They would probably dwell more than that. And then the thing that really jumped on this for me, favorites of 7 or more this year are 6-3 against the spread. So they're just not covering. So even if the Raiders, have a slow start, come back and win the game, chances are it's not going to be by that 7. I like Houston. I like, I said Davis Mills. I think Pierce is going to have a big game running the ball. He had over 100 yards, I guess it would be 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. No, they had the bye. So 3 weeks ago, they had over 100 yards. Last week, I think he had 99, just short of 100. I think he's going to come out, and they're going to make a presence on the ground. Look for Pierce to run the ball. Mills maybe 1 touchdown in the air. Give me Houston and 7 points in this one.
Not a bad pick, man. Not a bad pick. One of these teams are going to be a little rusty coming off that bye week. Solid pick, man. I'm waiting for Las Vegas to get their act together and really show what they're really capable of. But solid pick. My next pick, again, staying on the whole ground and pound theme for this week. Just to kind of give my own little stats, the New York Jets are 3-0 on the road this week. They are traveling to Denver. The tough thing here is going to be a good matchup. Denver is 2-1 at home. This right here, one of these streaks are going to get broken. The New York Jets have a 3-game win streak. The Denver Broncos have a 3-game loss streak, and Denver is dead last in the NFL in points scored. And they're coming off two overtime losses. And in those types of losses, they can really drain your team. So I want to see how Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos are going to respond to this. But the New York Jets, they're high on something called confidence, and they have momentum right now. You understand what I'm saying? So they are really feeling themselves after beating the Packers last week. I would too. Just to kind of throw out a couple stats like you, stat man. My theme is ground and pound. The New York Jets, 90 yards and above. When they rush the ball for 90 yards and above this season, they have 4 wins. 4 times they've done it. It is equal to 4 wins. These guys are 4-2. They have to find a way to stay consistent in the run game. The Denver Broncos are a good overall, solid defense. They can get after the passer. They do a solid job defending the pass. Stay home. Stay true to what we're going to do here. If the Jets can find a way to get all 11 involved in the run game and preach that and stay with that from the first quarter to the fourth, I think this is an opportunity for them to go into Denver and steal a win and continue their good road game dominance. I'm going with the Jets here.
They're changing the culture in New York. Giants and Jets, really, you could say. Excuse me. But this game, Denver just looks terrible. I mean, they're covering spreads, but they look terrible. And at the end of that game, you saw Judy and some of the guys on the sideline, and the speculation was they were talking about Russell Wilson, but there's some frustration in that locker room for sure. And the Jets could take advantage of that. I like that pick.
I mean, if you go back and you look at the stats, you look at what they're able to do on offense. They're doing a decent job in the air. They're doing a decent job on the ground. They're just doing a terrible job finishing. They cannot finish drives. And Russell Wilson, I mean, for my pick's sake, I hope he doesn't find it, his mojo this week. But for a quarterback, a leader, he's got to find it. He's got to find a way to finish drives. He's got to find a way to be that reason that the team wins at the end of the game.
I like it. Should be a terrible game to watch, but good if you're a Jets fan.
Fun defensive game.
Speaking of terrible games to watch, my next pick, you guys will all know that I have taken them 3 weeks in a row on this show. My Me's money moves, especially you VIP in the chat. I promised you guys that we would not have to sit through another Washington game. Then I told you at least for 10 more days after that Thursday night debacle. I was done with Carson Wentz after that. I said, I'm done. No more Carson. Swore him off. Well, he got ruled out, and that opened it. Now we're back in the game, baby. Washington's back on the board. Pull the jersey out of the trash can. They're back on the list. They're a system play. I got to follow. I tell my guys, trust the system. Every time I look at the system, I'm like, why do we have to take this team? But I'm trusting the system here. We're going with Washington. It's that crazy number again that this year, 5.5. Teams favored by 5.5, I believe, haven't won. At some point when it's 5.5, because the line moves a lot, but when it opens at 5.5, it closes at 5.5. I believe it's 0-9 against the spread. Now they could win the game. They're playing the Packers, and the Packers are coming off a loss to the Jets. Now they could either come out here and try to get their season back, or that Jet loss could carry over, and that's what I think is going to happen here. You got Aaron Rodgers has no help. He needs some help out there. But here's a stat that'll help you. Maybe if you're on the line, it'll jump on over with me, Washington. Backup quarterbacks in Washington, like Heineke's going to be this week, are 7-2-1 against the spread their last 10 games since 2019. 7-2-1 against the spread. I love those numbers. If that doesn't get you on the side, come on over after this stat. Home underdogs with an over-under of 42 points or less. So that's an anticipation of a low-scoring game, and you're going to take the points in a low-scoring game. Are 41, 24-1 against the spread since 2018. That's huge. The over-under in this game, 41. That's under 42. Come on over. Take Washington with me. Let's get uncomfortable. I tell my guys, we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Taking Washington against the Packers is very uncomfortable. But the numbers say to take them. I'm going with Washington again, 4th week in a row. Don't let me down. I'll take the 5.5 points.
How many times have Washington let you down this year?
So I lost 3 weeks ago with them. I lost 2 weeks ago with them at the 1 yard line against Tennessee. I won last week with them at the 1 yard line against Chicago. Barely. And now let's hope this one doesn't make it to the 1 yard line this time. Let's just win it. Let's do that, Washington. Heineke, get on your horse. Let's win this game. I'll take the 5 yard line, just not the one again.
I'm a Heineke guy, man. I think this is a great opportunity for him. Like you said, this Green Bay team, this is not the Packer team that we're used to seeing. He doesn't have the weapons. Like you said, he doesn't have the help. He doesn't have Devontae or some big name receiver that can help bail him out and always find a way to get open. That's not this Packers team right now. I hope it carries over, just because of the blue and orange bear that's in me. But I don't know, man. If they lose to Washington this week after taking that loss last week, that's tough for Green Bay. That's tough for Green Bay. Game 3. I guess you could say my lock, or I mean, we might as well introduce them.
These are the locks. Lock them up.
These are the locks. I mean, are we going to have any differences here in these locks? I mean, what we got going on here? Because I can tell you where I'm at. You tell me where you're at. We talked before this. We haven't had many differences of opinions. Is this the first one?
We haven't had any. Well, we've had a lot. But in our official picks, we haven't had it. Last week I liked Atlanta, and you kept telling me you like San Fran, and that's why you lost. But that wasn't your official pick. These are our official picks that are going against each other in our lock segment. I'm 6-0 in locks. I'm putting it all on the line here to go against Bush.
4-2?
And the game, just to give you a little preview, is a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago that we were at. We were on Radio Row. We had this podcast kicking before this COVID thing. We were on Radio Row. It's the Chiefs and the 49ers.
A very intriguing matchup. Both coming off losses last week. 49ers.
Mm-hmm. I was against both of them.
49ers. Great calls, by the way. 49ers coming off a tough victory, off a tough defeat. It was in Atlanta. And then you got the Chiefs and Bills. But the 49ers are back at home. They're tough at home. That's what I saw when I started to look through the stats, look through the data. They're tough at home. 0 turnovers at home. 5 takeaways at home. That's intriguing. That scares me a little bit. So these guys love to play in the comfort of their home. I get it. I understand it. But Kansas City,
you sound like you want to pick San Fran.
I do sound like that, don't I? But listen, what's my theme? Ground and pound, baby. This is not UFC. Get it on the ground and pound it over and over and over. Kansas City this year, when you've rushed for over 90 yards in a game, you have won the game. And when San Francisco has given up 90 yards plus, they've lost the game. That's the type of trend that I'm pushing. I'm preaching that in my Wednesday meeting to let my teams know. If I can get all 11 to buy into the run game, Andy Reid, stay consistent, buy into the run game, believe in it, understand that it helps you get W's in Kansas City. Believe in that run game. It's going to take all 11. Follow the trend, man. Listen, this is a league, man. These defenders are getting a lot better. You're not going to be able to air it out. Patty Mahomes, this is not the time to start getting outside the pocket and trying to find your open receiver down the field, every drive. Take what the defense gives you. Obviously, this team at home has been playing tough. They've taken it away 5 times. They haven't given it over, so they love being at home. Understand what the trend is. Run the ball, Kansas City, and you put yourself in a good position to go into San Fran and get this W. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Go with the Chiefs. I got the Niners here, and I'm locking them up. Niners are 2-0 at home. Like you said, +5 turnover margin at home. I just love this spot for them. And I was against the Chiefs last week in my lock, and they almost got me there, but Buffalo got them at the end. I'm going against them again as a lock just because they're going into a bye week before this. This is their game before a bye week. San Francisco is coming off that loss to Atlanta. So it looks like they played really bad. They're not that bad. They're a way better team than what they showed last week. And people tend to bet on what they saw previously. So I think a lot of the public is going to be all over Kansas City here. And we're going against Kansas City. I just everything I love about this spot. The 49ers lost last week because they were looking ahead to this game. They've had this game circled. They won a rematch. They should have won that Super Bowl. You can argue that, but they didn't.
Coulda, woulda.
Shanahan again. But here's the stat that will bring you onto my side if you're not already. If you're on Team Bush, come on over to Team Me. Jimmy G, 16-4 against the spread as an underdog. 16-4. That's 80%. I'm taking Jimmy G to not turn the ball over, like you said. The one thing that scares me is the injury list, as you like to say. San Francisco has a CVS receipt of injuries. I need Bosa in this game. I need Bosa to play. If Bosa plays, lock it up. 49ers, we're taking it. But either way, we're taking the 3 points, and we're taking the Niners.
Solid.
One of us will win our lock this week.
I'm hoping you lose because I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you gloating week to week. Oh, I'm 2-0 this week. Oh, I'm 4-0. Hey, did you see my locks? I'm 6-0 this week.
This guy doesn't even respond to my texts anymore on Sundays. Yeah. Can't get anything.
I mean, I'm a sore loser. So. But the good thing is I am self-aware. I know what I am. You feel me?
There you go.
That's
self-awareness.
That's a great trait I have.
You could text back something. Send a picture of the chicken wings you're making or something.
Honestly, I was definitely elbow deep in smoked salmon and smoked chicken wings. So sorry I couldn't text you back. And then by the time I did text you back, I saw my picks that went 1 and 2. So I don't really care about you gloating. I'm sorry, though.
It's a big week to bounce back in the NFL. Sunday I'll be at the Ravens game again, not in the suite, just in club level.
If you gonna be Sunday you gonna be in the game. I'm gonna be in the game down here in Miami, man. I'm gonna see what this boy Tua is gonna do when he come back.
There you go. Maybe you'll text me back when I send you a picture.
I'll be in a much better mood.
Monday's my birthday, so if you think I'm just getting lucky, I better get lucky this week with my picks. And then you mentioned UFC Ground and Pound. It's a big UFC weekend. They got a big pay-per-view event. If you guys want to bet on that, go holler at my boy, the MMA Shark. Always give him a shout out on here. Guy's killing it. He's over 80% in events. I know that. Up over 400 units on the year. Check out themmashark.com. If you guys are watching UFC Saturday night, check out these picks for games on Sunday. And give me a happy birthday shout out in the comments. We need some comments, some likes. Tell your friends to do what?
Tell your friends to tell a friend. To tell that friend to tell another friend to follow Bush and me, but to also wish my guy a happy birthday. You know, another year of blessings. So yeah, definitely celebrate. I hope your Ravens win. I hope all my picks win and yours lose. But it's all in good sport. To be honest with you, like your numbers over at Me's Money Moves are so solid. Like people are giving you a hard time talking about your line. Like so, just continue to keep doing what you're doing in that space. And listen, week 7, Bush and me. You know, good show, brother.
Week 7, guys. Yep. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed it.